Hussein Farhat, pathological liar, a sociopath, and probably worst of all, Hussein Farhat is not natural. What's up guys, Greg here, and today we're going to be talking about Hussein Farhat, gregdoucette, and Anabolic Stick. We're going to be looking at all the evidence shrouding this mystery, this big controversy that's going on, and I'll just be giving facts and my opinions on it. Now, if you don't know what's going on, Anabolic Stick is claiming that Hussein Farhat is natty, that gregdoucette is covering all this up, and that there's some sort of conspiracy, controversy, etc. going on. Anabolic Stick boldly claimed that Hussein Farhat was a pathological liar, a sociopath, and probably worst of all, Hussein Farhat is not natural. Gregdoucette left a comment on this small YouTube video. He said that he was gonna sue Anabolic Stick. I don't think that he's actually going to do that. I don't think he was threatening to do that. I think he was just pointing it out that it is, lying, defamation, whatever, and that he could get sued if Greg decided to. But I can see how that can be, I guess, controversial for Greg to say. This guy's a small YouTuber. Like, if I got fucking sued by Gregdoucette, I'd probably be shitting bricks, bro. I don't have the money to fucking fight that type of battle. Anabolic Stick, in response, has made many posts on the internet, YouTube, etc., talking about this whole situation, giving his opinion. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, looking at Gregdoucette's comments, I think Anabolic Stick is winning this argument so far. Everyone's shitting on Gregdoucette. Everyone, I guess, is kind of laughing at this whole situation, this 1 in a million. But yeah, let's just look at the new video Anabolic Stick posted, which is his, I guess, response to Gregdoucette's video.
Size that he was a year ago, to the point he can literally just recycle pictures from a year ago on his feed now. Why hasn't Mr. 1 in a million genetics made any tangible gains in over a year and a half? As far as I know, people that are natural don't start plateauing gains wise until at least 5 years into training. Again, sounds like someone who has hopped off cycle for over a year and has been maintaining it ever since.
Now this huge argument, this main, I guess, argument of Anabolic Stick is that it doesn't really look like Hussein put on, any muscle in a year. It doesn't look like he's made progress. His physique blew up way too quick. And honestly, this argument is not convincing whatsoever. For example, I have a client, Project Pavel, bang, put him right there. Dude is fucking massive. Dude is unbelievably huge. He's 6'4", and he's absolutely fucking massive. Let's just fucking look at the guy, bro. He's fucking huge. And would you guys say that he's not natural? If you do say that, you're fucking stupid. He's natural, He's been going to the gym for around 2.5 years. He's only really been locked in for like a year or something like that. Around a year ago, he really started dieting really well. He really started training really, really hard. And bro is just a genetic anomaly. I mean, again, just look at the guy, bro. He's fucking humongous. And he achieved all this naturally. There are no signs of him using PEDs. There's no signs of any sort of, I guess, performance enhancements. So yeah, using this argument of like, oh, he hasn't made much progress, he blew up way too quick. I mean, it's not a really good one. Let's see what other points Anabolic Stick has.
For the first time 7 days ago, okay? And here is another video of Hussein. Compare his two physiques in these pictures and then try to guess how many months separate them. Keep in mind, he has only been training for about 3.5 years. I'll give you some time to think.
I mean, so honestly, looking at these two pictures, not a lot to go off of. This is kind of cherry picking because one of them he has his shirt off, the other he doesn't, so we can't really see the chest. Regardless, the one on the left looks a bit more like angle maxing. His delts look bigger. He looks a little bit more defined. If I honestly had to guess, maybe like 6-8 months, something like that. Again though, like the other video is like very clearly like a lot more zoomed in. He's wearing a shirt, lighting's about the same in both of them. But I mean, regardless, like, this isn't a very good comparison. I'm like 99% sure that Hussein has pictures and videos in the same location that this guy could have taken and like used to like, compare them. Yeah, I'd say like 6-8 months, something like that. Purely based off the fact that the delts are a lot bigger in the left picture, in my opinion, and that he looks a lot more defined. But yeah, let's see.
20 months, you are correct. This video was posted September 10th, 2023 when he was a year and a half into training. And this video was posted May 7th, 2025. So Mr. 1 in a million made pretty much all his gains in the first year and a half of training. And for the year and a half after, he struggled to put on any meaningful amount of size.
I mean, yeah, again, like I said earlier, it's all like cherry picking and angle maxing. I mean, obviously on the one on the left, he looks a lot bigger because he's closer to the camera. Yeah, I think this is cherry picking photos and clips, whatever. But yeah, I would not have guessed 20 months regardless. So I mean, regardless, this is a really valid point. Like, it's kind of insane that in 20 months he hasn't really made I guess, a lot of progress. That is a little bit suspicious, I will admit.
Of Greg's supplement brand, who is an 18-year-old bodybuilder. This is what Zoe looks like. 100% natural, might I add, just as Greg said in the caption. Must be another instance of 1 in a gazillion genetics, huh? I'll just let this sink in for a couple of seconds. Greg says this 18-year-old ambassador of his supplement brand is natural.
Aside from her being like super defined, if you want to be a bodybuilder, obviously you have to be super defined. I don't really see some crazy signs as to how she could be unnatural. She doesn't have crazy size compared to other female bodybuilders. The only suspicious part of this is that obviously she's 18 years old. That's a little bit fucking insane.
That I was making. He knew there was absolutely no way he could talk himself out of that part of my video, so he simply decided not to include it in his video at all. You will see that a major recurring theme in Greg's response video is that Greg cherry picks parts of my video and conveniently leaves out other major parts just because they don't fit his narrative.
This is not a good point. I mean, Greg does this all the time. He does this with other videos as well. I don't think he's cherry picking because it fits his narrative or makes his video so much more, I guess, convincing that he's correct. He literally just does this because he's been in the game for a long time. He knows what's interesting to audiences. He understands what people want to see and what people want to hear. If you think I'm being biased, if you think I'm defending Greg too hard, I mean, look at any of his videos. He will watch like a 30-minute video and he will cut out large parts of it. Again, not cherry picking. He just knows what the audience wants to see and therefore gives it to them.
Actually accurate. And that it's extremely rare. Like, hardly anyone could do it. Like, 1 in a million, maybe.
This is me 3 years ago at 132 pounds and around 13% body fat. And this is me 3 years later at 183 pounds, but also at a much higher body fat percentage of about 18.
Like I said earlier, guys, you can't compare your progress. You can't compare what you've done to other people and just instantly assume that, you know, someone is a fake natty or this or that. I showed you guys my client, Project Pavel. We're going to bring him up again. 2.5 years of lifting. This is what he looks like. And so, is he not natty because he beat your 3-year transformation? No, I know he's natty. I know that he hasn't taken any PEDs, any performance enhancements, nothing. You can't base your progress and you can't compare it to others and make an argument that someone is not natty because of that. Again, doesn't make sense.
No one could do that. He wins. I mean, the video could end right here, right? I mean, he just proved that Hussein Farhat is not natural because he put on more muscle than this guy. I mean, this guy has the best genetics in the world. No one could put on more muscle than this guy. And so anyone that puts on more muscle than him clearly is a fake natty.
Now this has to be the most shameless straw man I've ever seen this guy construct.
This guy cannot be talking about fallacies, bro. If you watch his other 2 videos, I think he brings it up like 8, 9, 10, however many times he brings it up. I'm a broke college student. I can't pay for these tests. I can't do it. You know, you're just saying this to make it seem like, you know, I don't actually believe in what I'm saying. So pretty much the entire time, pathos, appeal to emotion. Like, I'm a broke college student. Fucking weep for me, cry for me. You know, defend me, protect me. I can't afford it. I can't do it. Sorry guys, I'm a broke college student. I can't do it. Super weak argument. Also a fallacy. So I mean, can't be talking about fallacies, bro.
Reason I showed my own physique transformation is to show that when you're natural and you want to put on a significant amount of muscle mass on your body, you have to eat in a caloric surplus and you will gain some fat. Now, of course, depending on your genetics, you may put on a very little amount of fat or you may put on a significant amount of fat. But Hussein didn't even put on a little bit of fat. As a matter of fact, he got significantly leaner. The point I was making by showing my physique isn't to say, oh, I made far less progress than Hussein and I have amazing genetics, so he must be on juice. No, the point was to show that when you want to build a lot of muscle, you'll be putting on at least a tiny bit of fat too. I could have shown any natural physique transformation where someone put on size before cutting, but obviously my own transformation was simply the most convenient for me to pick, instead of scouring the internet for some random guy. I've never claimed to have amazing genetics.
Bro should have used Project Pavel. I'm gonna bring this up one more time. I hope it's the last time. I guess we'll see. But yeah, bro should have used Project Pavel. Bro is a perfect example of what hard work, dedication, a good diet, and not using PEDs can do for your physique. Bro is absolutely massive, absolutely huge, absolutely striated, absolutely vascular. Compare that to Hussein Farhat's transformation. You may say that Project Pavel is not natural. He's not natty. There is no fucking way. But again, you can't compare physiques. You can't compare that shit because it's just not a good way of deciding whether or not someone's on PEDs. This is a really bad point from Anabolic Stick. I don't like this kind of like compare this physique to this physique and this and that. I mean, like, there's so much nuances. There's so much like bullshit. Like, Bro.
Into as to why Hussein made comparable if not more impressive gains in 3 years than Jeff did in 7 years, when Jeff has better genetics and was juiced up. Notice how yet again Greg leaves out a crucial part of the video because
Once again, genetics. Once again with the nuances, with the this and the that and the and the other, you know, like, bro, must I even say it? Let's continue.
my video, and I reached out to him right after I saw it. We talked extensively and I agreed with Connor to let him fund the drug testing, so these are my stipulations. It would have to be a WADA grade drug test at least once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, for at least 6 months straight. A hair follicle test would also be taken on the very first and very last day of testing. 1 rep maxes will be tested in the gym on the first and last day of testing with a neutral third party in a public gym to ensure that the weights are actually real. A neutral third party that actually is knowledgeable in all of this would have to supervise everything. When all the results come in, you live stream yourself opening the results on the portal for the first time immediately to rule out any possibility of edits being made. I would then fly out to Montreal for the last drug test to be the one to supervise all of Hussein's 1 rep maxes in the gym and all of his testing. Hussein and Connor, these are my stipulations. Put your money where your mouth is and let's do this.
I mean, love him or hate him, Anabolic Stick is a fucking genius, bro. Let's be real here. Bro called out Hussein Farhat, called out Gregdoucette, and now he's gonna be flying out and meeting them within, like, the, I guess, the testing period. This guy's a fucking genius, bro. Honestly, this guy's fucking playing 4D chess, smarter than Gregdoucette. This guy might be a 1.8%er. He might be a fucking commander. This is actually very, very smart from him. This guy is growing very, very quickly. I mean, subscriber count, likes, views, everything. This guy's a fucking genius. I'm not gonna lie. No glaze. But yeah, he's a fucking genius. I'd say this is very smart. If the testing does take place, I would love to see the fucking results. I'll probably make a video about it. I'd say this testing isn't even like that super extensive. I feel like Anabolic Stick does bring up a fair point. If Connor Sinan does fund it, perfect, excellent. Then we'll really know, is Hussein Farhat natural? If he does cycle off, I mean, then yeah, he'll get a lot smaller. I guess we'll see that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Overall, my opinion on this, I don't really fucking know. I mean, to be completely honest, Anabolic Stick does bring up some good points. He has some shitty points. It's kind of like a mix between the two. And yeah, I guess we'll never really know unless the testing takes place, if it even takes place. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is Gear Greg. I'll see you guys in the next video.